Now let's see how to get all the posts from Firestore. So come to the Firestore API.jsx, create a function called get posts, all the posts. Basically, it's an API. Yes. So we will need a function from Firestore called get, sorry, not get, on snapshot. Fine. So we can call the function in this function. It takes the difference which is called dbref, comma, then it provides a callback. So say data or say response, not data. Fine. Then we have to filter our response from here. So we can say console.log response dot data, not data, let's say docs dot map response dot docs dot. Okay, let me just show you how to do that. But first we have to get the function here. So import it. Then we need one more hook called use memo hook from React. Then let me create the or add the hook here, use memo. Then what we will do is in this use memo, let's call this function called get posts. Fine. Now if you open the console, let's say what we get, what we have in the console. So we have this thing called Excel. So it's the data from the Firestore that we cannot read right now. We have to filter our data. So we will choose the docs here. If you see, we have a docs object which contains our array. So we can just say response dot docs. And if you save, we will see this array. So we have to get the data from this array using map method. We have to we have to get the data using map. We will create one more array from this array, which will only contain our data that we need, the posts, in an object. So let's say doc or docs, and let's return docs dot data as a function. Now we will get this array where we have all the statuses like hello world 2, hello world 4 and all like this. Also it provides us a ID. I mean each of these statuses have an ID. Let me go to console in Firestore. So you see this ID called 8fq and all, it's an ID that we can also get. So we can just make docs.id. If you save, we will have this array with the ID as well inside it for each of the posts. I mean status. One second. Let's make this as not posts, get status. Okay. Now here also we have to change get status. Fine. But the thing is, we don't need the data here. We need it in this component. So let me create a state here called all status and set all status. Use state an array. So let's pass this get status in this function get status. I mean we have to pass this function set all status inside get status. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Now let's get it here. So we can set it here directly. If you save and refresh the page. Okay, let's console.log this all statuses here and see the output. So we will get this array of 4 objects. If you refresh, it's empty, but then we get it after some time. So it takes a few minutes, sorry, not minutes, a few milliseconds to load. So if you check networks tab, go to fetch XHR, refresh the page, and it takes a moment to fetch the data. Fine. So we have a loader that we can add later, not now. So we have this, what is it? The state called state is all statuses. Now let me remove this console log so that we can map the array here. So we can say all statuses dot map. Let's say status. I don't know why I named this as status. It should be posts. Wait a second. Post status, get status. Fine, is fine. Now we have to return a div or a fragment, but I prefer fragment. But you can also use div, but the problem is both differ in some cases. Like each have their use cases. The React fragment or div. So in this fragment, let me return one h, let's say not h3, a p tag simply, and say status dot, what is the key name? Status. So it's odd, so let's make it as posts, so that we can have posts dot status. Save the file, but the problem is we're getting it here, and that's the problem that I warned you about. So we have to wrap this in one more div so that it becomes the child of this post status main. But I don't think it will work. Fine, but it works. So fine. Let me get the class here, post status main. They should be in index.css. And we have to make flex direction as column. Now it's fine. We can see it. Now let me show you this. If I add one more post, let's say hello world 5 and click post, it will be immediately here. Immediately. And here also. So that is the use of this on snapshot. Let me close this. Now let me create one component here for the card that we see on LinkedIn. For example, this card. So we need one component here called, let's say, posts card. In this, let's have an index file and one SCSS. So index.scss. So make it a function component, but let's change the name to posts card here as well. For now, we will have this text here. Now let me import the SCSS component, which is post, one step back, index.scss. Now save. Now we can close the Firestore API or modal SCSS. Let's get the component of the post card, I mean posts card here. So import posts card from posts card, and let me just return this component like this. So we'll see 5 posts card text here because this component is running 5 times. We have to pass this posts as prop. Yes. Now let's receive the prop here. I mean destructure it. Then in here we can write our these things like posts. So in this div, let's make a p tag which will be called as posts.status. Now you will see the same thing. Give it a refresh and it works. Fine. Now what to do? We have the card, but it's very basic. I mean, it's not a card yet, but it's very basic. So give this div a class name of posts card. Now let's copy the class, come over to index.scss and add it here. Now in this class, let's create a card here like this. So we can use same styling as this card. So let's get it from this, what is it? Try home component? No, I think it's in post status, where it is. Component common post update. Yes, from here. So we have this post status card. No, this is the card. Wait a second. Which card do we have? This card, post status. Yes, let's search it here. And let me get all of these items from here and simply paste it here in the postcard.scss. Now we'll get these cards, but they are very small. So we have to make them large. Fine. So we can make the width to 100%. Still it's very short. Okay. Let's remove, wait a second. Come over here. Okay, let's close this. This as well. So I'm fine. So let's make this as 300 pixels or 500 or 600 or 550. Yes, they are now perfect. Let's do the same thing in that component as well. Let's not use percentage. So if we are on a bigger screen, this will be responsive. Fine. So what about the modal? Yes, modal is fine. So we have this all the cards data here. So we can close this one. Now we have this text, but the placement of the text is different. So it starts from the left. So give this div pick a class name of status. And let's say status, or the status, or yes. So in here, say status, text line, left. It's not on the left. So I guess why? We can remove, I think, this item. Justify content center. Now it's on the left. So it's having some padding. So let's add the padding here. 20 pixels. Now it has some padding, but the width of this card has increased. So basically, we can add padding here as well. Now the inner element is now shifted to insider. Now also, we have the font size smaller and the font is different. So let's also check that the font is system UI. So let's make it here font family system UI. Is it changed? Yes, I guess so. And now what is it? The size is 14px. So font size 14 pixels. Now it's small. Also font family font weight 400. So font weight 400 pixels, not pixels, 400. Fine. Fine. Also the color is this. So let's change the color here. So make the color as this. Now we have this, but something still feels wrong here. It's system UI, but I don't know what's the problem here. Let's search the correct font. Okay, I guess it is working. What if we copy this font and paste it here? Oh, okay. Fine. I think it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Now we have this card. Fine. Now we can either move it to the top or leave it here. Fine. But we also need a few things here. For example, the username, we have this timestamp 6 hours ago and all. So now let's create the timestamp here in the post update.jsx. And for the timestamp, let's have a library called moment.js. So let me install it in the React app. So let me copy this command and install it using the terminal. Save. Now all we have to do is import moment.js Let me create one helper function for this. So let's create it here in the, or not in any file. Say in this helpers, yes. So say use moment dot .jsx. Basically, it's a hook. So export const dates, or let's say change, or get date, or get current date, or say time stamp. It's a function, but we need moment package here, so we can import moment from moment. Then it will take a date that, okay, not the date, okay, let's say moment, I mean let's choose one timestamp here, which is, let's try see, let's try this one, triple L. So add it here. So it will take the current time and it will format it using this triple L, and this will be the output for this, so we have to return it. But we can get this triple L from the params as well. So say format or time format, then we have to just pass it here. And now let me call this function get timestamp in our post update.jsx. So import, what is the name, get current timestamp from this route, and then what we have to do is, let's say, okay, post status we have here. One second. Okay, now let me pass, or wait a second, I think the update is not happening here. So send status is here. Await post status. What is that? Wait a second. Set model option. I forgot the code, how it was working. Let me open the model and check. No, it's not happening here either. So where it is happening? So I guess it's happening in the home component. No, here also no. So where are we calling that function? Today is my bad day, I guess. So I think this is the function that we are having. And here we are passing the status. Okay. Fine. Is this all? If we click start a post, this modal will open, and we have the send status that we're passing to this this component called modal component. I think that's it. Post status, yes. So let me create one object. So say obj or object equals to an object. Here we will have status as status, comma. Then we have what is it? Then say timestamp equals to, okay, let me import it here as well. Only we need it here. So get current timestamp, and let's pass triple L in capital. So we can try to console this as well. So console.log this. Now open the console and let's see what we are getting. We are getting nothing. So we are returning this data. Let me refresh the page once. I guess it's still compiling. So let's open the terminal. Yes, it's compiling, and it will take some time because this Vite also modifies or optimizes dependencies. Yes, see, we're getting the data, which is the current date and the time for now. Now we are passing this here as triple L format. Then let's pass this object in the post status here. So open post status in the API. in Firestore API.jsx. Let me remove the object and say object here that we are getting and simply pass it here. This will work as well. We can remove the console log for this. Now let's try. Let me refresh. Let me delete the entire posts. I mean the collection. But wait, let's also add one more thing. One last thing here, which will be the current email of the user. So the user is logged in and let's store his credentials in local storage. Okay, so we can do that from login API. So it takes, it returns the response. And where is the login API that we are calling? Let's check here. So it sends us a response. So we can simply console.log this response like this. But we need to be logged out for this because we can't see this login response here for now. So how to log out? Let me delete all the users from here and start again from scratch. So delete this. Let me refresh the page and see what happens. Okay, nothing happens. Let me delete the other two. We haven't made the logout button yet. Yes, we are on this login page now. Let me create one account here using our email or phone. So join now. Let me create 1 minute. So if we are creating the account, they should be in the register component as well. To set it in the local storage, we have to make the console log. So we can say response dot email, or I guess let's check. So let's say Nishant s440@gmail.com. Some password let's type and again join. So account created. Okay, but okay, we hadn't saved it yet. Fine, that was the problem. So okay, we can do one thing. We can remove the this thing, the auth. Not the auth. Where is it? Yes, we can remove. Where is it? In the home component. Or sorry, not the component, in the home page. So we can simply comment out this for now, and from here, from this page called login.jsx, also comment it out. Let's make the the loading to false, and in this home as well, so that we can see our page. So let me go to the login page now. Okay, not the login page. Yes, login page will work as well. So let me add the email that we use now. gmail.com. The password. Click sign in. We will see all the data here. So we can use in the login page. Where is the login component? Okay, let me see login component. There are too much files here. Yes. So res.user, and then in the user we have this email. So let's store this thing in the local storage. So we can say local storage.set item. It will be user email. The same thing we can do here in the registered component. So we can do it here, not the console log. Fine. Now let me revert back the changes we did in this two components here. Okay. So come over to this home.jsx and revert everything back to the state it was before. Login as well. Now save. Let me expand it a little bit less. Fine. Now let's try from the beginning. Let me delete all the users here. I mean, only one user we have, we can delete that. Fine. We don't need login page or the home page. Okay. So let me let me create one user here again. So join now, email or phone. Let me open this thing, which is the applications tab. In the applications tab, we have local storage and it's empty for this. So we can say Nishant as 440 at the rate gmail.com and the password. Click agree and join. And now we have this email here, user email for the current user. So I prefer, we have to use the local storage, not the session storage, because session will be destroyed after some time, or when we close the tab or when we close the browser. Now here we can just get the email from the user. So let user email equals to local storage dot get item, the user email key that we typed here. So we don't need this either. Okay. Save this and save the user email as user email. Now we have no data here. So open the Firestore database. No data is here. Fine. Let's try to save one. So we can say hello world. Click post and it's here. Then if you check here, let me refresh. We will see all these three items called status, timestamp and the email. I hope so. Yes, it's here. Fine. Now what we have to do is, let me just render it out here simply in the postcard. So before this, let's add one p tag and say posts dot, what is the key name? Timestamp. Yes. Timestamp. Fine. So we will have timestamp here. Then we have the email as well. So okay, let's not show the email for now because the use of email is very different here. Not to show it here. So give this timestamp a class of timestamp. Let me come to the CSS for this, or SCSS, and add the class here, which will be timestamp is this. So let me hover this font, 6 hours. The same is here, system UI, font family, font size 12 pixels. Okay, color is this. So color is this. Font weight 400. What else do we have? Nothing. So save this and the timestamp will be here. But they're not arranged. Also, let's add padding 20 pixels for this. So they're not arranged properly as it should be. As they should be. So we can say flex reduction column. Now they will be in a column. So I guess the problem is the height here. Or is it the height? Let's try justify content center. Yes, now they are fine. But still the gap is too much between them. So I guess what's the problem? Let's remove the height and try. Okay, it is not like this. Okay. What can we do? Display flex, all the things. Let me comment this for now. When it comes at the start, fine. But we have to bring it down. Okay, I guess we don't need align items. Then it will work. Yes. But still, let me move or just remove this also and see what happens. Okay, it's not fine. Okay, what if we remove this and remove the padding here as well? Okay, And if we are removing the padding, let's add margin 10 pixels. Okay, margin is fine. Add it here as well. Type 20. Okay. So we can do this. So margin 10. Okay, just make it as 0, 0, 0, 0. Fine. If we add 10 here or 10 pixels, this will be moved from top. I mean, it's top margin. Then this is called, okay, bottom margin. I mean, top bottom. I guess this is called left. Okay, not left. This is left. 10 pixels. Yes, the timestamp is here and the status. Fine. The same thing we can apply here, not just margin 10 pixels. And it will work the fine. I mean, it will work fine. Fine. So the timestamp is here and the hello world text. All we need to do is now is to add the username and the image. That will be for the next, I mean, very next part, because we will need Firestore, Firebase storage for this. Fine. Now in the next video, let's do the profile page for the current user. So we'll have to fill the data in the profile. So that we will do in the next video. Let me also add one more post call. Hello world 2. Click post and it will be here immediately, and the timestamp also. If you check, both status is here now, like this. So this is not the final version of this home posts card. We will add all of these things. Fine. Let me copy this post and just add it here and see what happens. Click post. And okay, the problem is we have to add the height as auto. Okay, not the auto. I mean, let's add min height as 120 pixels. Or maybe, let's say, okay, if the post is small, then we see, I mean, if the post is large, we see the see more button. So I guess we can make this as auto and see what happens. Or 120 pixels. Let's make it as, yes, let's leave it as auto and add one padding bottom to 20 pixels. Now we have this and it looks much better than before. So this is how we created the posts card that will contain our posts. Fine then. Okay.